Fear not, for you are found. You are home, and there is no going back. No one leaves this place. But what is this place? The answer is Sakaar. We're going to be talking about Thor Ragnarok. The layers, the newness, the freshness, and the lead-in into the great series that the MCU provides. Join us. So I'm Dan.
And I'm Nick, folks.
We're old friends dissecting one topic at a time. People, technology, media, we've got it all covered.
Each discussion here is a deep dive into our unique perspective.
There's a guy that's in charge of
Taboo,
that, right?
forbidden subjects, they're all on the chopping block, baby. We don't pander to popular opinion. We might even get a little bit dirty.
Warning, this podcast may contain mature language and sexual content and is for infotainment purposes only.
So join us. Have a good time.
Open up your ear holes, because we're going to fondle your follicles. Prepare yourself. Prepare yourself. Prepare yourself. You're now meeting the Grand Master. All right, well, there we go. So, this movie was good?
It was a great movie. It's probably my top 5 movies.
I think it's
Maybe
in
top
my,
7. I mean, if you want to
my
argue.
top 5 movies.
Okay. Like top 5 movies of all time.
Definitely the decade.
Okay, that's fair.
Definitely.
All the Marvel ones are really well done.
In comparison
Almost
to the
all of them.
DC ones that... So
Yeah,
stark
and
contrast.
just in comparison to movies in general, they're just well done movies, no matter what.
Yeah.
You can pick one; it's not your favorite, but it's going to be well done.
Oh yeah, we'll hit it
for the most part.
We'll hit it. We'll beat it with a stick.
Okay.
What any key things that you want to hit? Anything
It's
you
funny
like
as
to touch
hell.
on?
It's literally super dry humor. That's
Nice
why
contrast.
the movie Snatch is my favorite movie.
Okay. And so that was one point. You have any other points you'd like to hit?
The action was great. The soundtrack was great.
That's good.
There's a lot of
Good scene.
innuendo. It's very thick. Like you could
Yeah.
break apart every scene. Like I watch it upstairs and I'm cracking up at every scene. I'm like, oh my god, they did this. And I'm like, oh, they did it. Oh my god, they're doing it. And then I'm like, oh, that was a good delivery. Like it's a good everything, and then a good setup, a good framework, good acting, and then good delivery. So I like it.
Yeah,
It's good.
I'm with you. There's layers to it that are surprisingly well thought out, and there's no bad part to it. There's nothing where you go, oh, that wouldn't happen. Like, it's realistic in the fantasy sense, as well as the way characters interact and the way the plot moves forward. It just doesn't fail you.
There's no dragging either.
Yeah.
Not in this movie.
It's not like, oh, it's
There's
this
like-
scene. It's every
Right.
scene has some sort
Oh
of...
my god, the next 10 scenes is going to take place
Yeah,
on
boy.
so and so, and it's going to be like, ugh, I just want to get to the next part of the movie. Great.
Thor Ragnarok. Want to start with the opening scene?
Yeah, absolutely. Because I play that for my kid, and it's one of his favorite songs for that exact reason.
I wish you had your bass. You could slap the bass right now. You're thinking about it.
Yeah, but I never realized it. I thought it was such an easy play because it's just octaves, like do.
Is it not? Is it different tuning or something?
No, it's octaves. But then at the end of the run, it's like played really fast and really well. And I can't do it because A, I never looked it up, and B, I don't practice as much anymore. So it would have made me really upset. But Led Zeppelin's "The Immigrant" song.
So there's a joke that I heard that I thought was fantastic. Is the devil appears and he says, "I'll make you the greatest guitarist of all time. I just need your soul." And then the guy says, "What can I get for $1?" And the devil goes, "I'll make you the greatest bassist of all time."
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Very good.
Oh, Davey 504 had that one.
Wait, Davey did? Oh, I love Davey 504. He's like my favorite channel. He's interesting.
the bass.
Slap
Smash
the
that.
bass.
Smash
that like button. Yeah. I would not pay for this one.
If I get 10 likes.
He's good. So the reason that song is so important is because that whole scene is perfection. It opens up with him trapped in a cage, and you're like, oh my god, how did he get here? Like, well, oh my god.
Yeah,
because he's not. It's
mystery,
like
adventure.
Right, but it's cool because most of them open up with all of them, and you know this is going to be just Thor by himself. That's like, this is his movie by himself.
Oh yeah.
But he's trapped in a cage, and like, oh no, and he's just really waiting till he wants to be caught, and then he wants to be questioned by what's the guy's name? Surtur. Thank you.
Yeah.
Anyway, because Surtur's dome, his helmet, his magical helmet, will be the beginning of Ragnarok.
Mm-hmm.
So he got captured to find Surtur, who's a giant skeleton, a foreboding, giant, mean skeleton that sounds like this.
Sounds like this. Kind of.
He does, yeah. So, and it's really funny because he's dangling from the chain, and that's where I knew the movie was really funny. And he's like, you son of Odin have no idea. And he's like, hold on, because he's spinning and his back is turned towards him, and he's slowly spinning.
Sir,
and he's
you
like,
son of a bitch.
Yeah, he does. Yeah. Good delivery. You son of a bitch. Yeah. And then it's funny though because he's like, hold on.
I'll be back around.
I'll be back.
Just give me a moment.
He's like, seriously, I'm not doing this. It's like it's
tense. It's tense and relaxing at the same time. What they do with this movie is they make you excited and also a little bit of, never really worried, but like a little intrigued, and then it's funny. You're like, you're never like fearful in any way.
No, because I think it's hard to make an audience fearful, especially when it's grown adults watching kind of not a kid movie, but like an action adventure sci-fi movie.
Children's
like,
movie.
Going to be,
who reads comic books? 35-year-old men, middle-aged.
And then the other, even
past
their
prime, antisocial.
Prime. Although now it's the new in thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Everyone loves it.
But
I think that's one of the weird things too, is that these comics go way back, and the stories, I don't know if they're entirely comic.
Did you know Thor and Incredible Hulk origin comics came out in the same year? It was like 1963. But both of them came out in that year, so that's kind of cool. And it was a 55-year anniversary. So someone do the math for me. Go ahead.
55.
Might be 62.
Yeah, 55. Yeah.
52?
Like that sounds about right.
Whatever it would be. Sorry.
65-ish. So,
okay.
But can you build on, like, if I were to make a comic and like make it as good as Marvel's, all of the characters, it would take 60 years before it matured to this level where you could reference things like there are references like
well, it's like a religion or like a folklore. It's not just, you can't make something up and then a year later expound on it. It has to have shoot-offs and reshoots and rebuffs and polishings and changing a little bit and altering and team up with another comic and like
completely isolated people, artists, like referencing it, like the music, like referencing Norse stuff, but also like I Am Iron Man, like the Black Sabbath stuff. Like that's not in this movie, but having its own references to other references, it's just insane.
Oh yeah, it is. I didn't even think of that because like I don't know that Led Zeppelin did that one for Thor anyway, but I don't know that they didn't because they were into Lord of the Rings and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And this one is about Vikings.
Yeah,
that song.
Also, that reminds me of what's the difference between a religion and a cult?
Religion is not done yet? I don't know.
In a religion, the leader's already died.
Ah, cult. In a religion, the leader dies.
Yeah.
In a cult, everyone else dies.
Oh, that's the other end of the joke. Yeah.
I mean, that's probably the other end of the joke. But even just to the first scene in Thor that we're still talking about, we can just talk about this scene all day.
Yeah.
He's like, well, so you're telling me all I have to do is knock that is that an eyebrow? It's not an eyebrow. It's a crown. He says, oh, okay. But it's like the bad guy who's big and hulking and on fire is almost offended. He's like hurt. He's like, no, it is not. And Thor says, okay, and he opens his hand and he's calling his magic hammer. He's like, well, you know why we do it? It's because the good guys always pull through. It's like this pause, and he's like, I didn't time that right. And then like 2 seconds later, they're both standing there, and the hammer's finally coming. But then he breaks out of the chains, and he's kicking serious ass, the Led Zeppelin "Immigrant" song. Yeah. It's one of my favorite movie scenes of all time.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite movie scenes of all time. It's one of my favorite movie scenes of all time. It's one of my favorite movie scenes of all time. It's one of my favorite movie scenes of all time. It's one of my favorite movie scenes of all time. It's one of my favorite movie scenes of all time. It's one of my favorite movie scenes of all time. It's one of my favorite movie scenes of all time. It's one of my favorite movie scenes of all time. It's one of my favorite movie scenes of all time. It's one of my favorite movie scenes of all time. It's one of my favorite movie scenes of all time. It's one of my favorite movie scenes of all time. It's one of my favorite movie scenes of all time. It's one of my favorite movie scenes of all time. It's one of my favorite movie scenes of all time. It's one of my favorite movie scenes of all time. It's one of my favorite movie scenes of all time. It's one of my favorite mov And just it goes with the action. He's like spinning his hammer. He's just destroying dudes. He's all buff and like I have to say, he's a good looking dude.
Oh yeah.
He's buff and good looking dude. He's got long hair. He's depicting like one of my favorite like comic book characters from when I was a kid, and he's just bashing like skeleton demons into oblivion with a hammer while Led Zeppelin Immigrant song plays so loud. And I'm like,
it is. I did notice it was louder than most musical overtones.
Yeah, I guess so. Overlays?
An overload? I think. I think.
Anyway, I got my son. He loves that scene in that movie, so now he requests that song, and he calls it something because it's the picture of the album. But either way, like I've seen that scene alone like probably 30 times because every now and then you got to watch it. It's only like 2.5 minutes.
Yeah, it's perfect intro.
So good.
Perfect.
And did you gather the very next scene, which is hilarious unto itself? It's Scourge. Is that his name?
Yeah, Scourge. The guy who has.
So Scourge plays like just like kind of a mortal. Well,
yeah,
not the last scene.
He's chilling.
He just plays kind of like a mortal, and like he's trying to get the ladies. I love that.
Yeah.
And he's like, he doesn't have powers. He's just a regular guy. I feel like he doesn't really want to work too hard, but he got this job, and like everyone else has powers. They're flying around. He's like, hey, ladies, come check out all this stuff I got. And it pans out to all his stuff. It's really crappy shit, which made me laugh really hard. Like if you just look at it, it's like a exercise bike and like stupid stuff, but it's from another world. So these ladies don't even know what it is. And it's just so funny. He's trying to use that to brag. At one point, he's doing a shake weight.
Yeah, I didn't catch that one.
Yeah, he's doing this with a shake weight, like, and it looks like a wiener going up and down. I'm like, oh my god, Scourge. And he's showing off all the Earth stuff. In the meantime, Thor's asking, "Yo, beam me up, beam me up, beam me up." So he's finally showing these ladies something, and they're like, "Oh, isn't that the beacon?"
And the dragon
and
dog,
that scene,
whatever that thing is.
Do you recall the dragon dog thing?
It looked like Never-Ending Story.
Exactly. I think that was it.
What is the dog? Oh, god damn it!
It just no. Don't look it up, dude. Atreyu is the boy, or the horse. The horse.
Yeah,
or no, Atreyu is the boy. He loses the horse. Valcor.
Yeah.
Valcor.
Falcor?
Valcor.
Yeah.
It's Valcor.
Falcor. It was moving like Falcor.
It moves just like him. And the other crazy thing is there's no other scene in all of the movies that looks like that. It's very sci-fi looking.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I don't know if you caught that. It was a weird CGI with like dark and light, and there were like rainbow sparkles. Looked like something out of Stranger Things. Like an 80s kind of throwback.
There is a feel of like retro future kind of going on here. That's like there's like good techno, but it's not techno. It's like upbeat little glimpses of it, and it's all throughout the movie.
I agree. Yeah, there is. It's very much like that. Let me see. I pulled up the IMDb.
You're trying to figure out who did it, who done it.
No. I know who did it. Oh, we know. How do we pronounce his name? Taika
Waititi.
Yeah, Taika Waititi. There you go. Anyway, he's done some movies. This is his first like big Marvel whatever. Did you know one of his big references was Big Trouble in Little China?
Really?
He wanted to make this movie feel like that.
Oh.
And it made me think, whoa, I kind of see where that was going, actually.
The music was by Mark Mothersbaugh.
Who's that? I don't know.
He's also did Life Aquatic, The Secret Life of Life Aquatic.
Yeah.
He also... It has a good feel to it. Like whenever he does a movie, it's just like a slightly upbeat. I don't know how they capture like a little bit of happiness. It's like commonly felt happiness in his music. If you listen to anything.
Interesting. Well, what I noticed it's not really long, drawn out, super orchestral, which a lot of like epic stuff is, and it sometimes gets old and I don't know.
Dun, dun, dun,
it's like drags on. It's like too long.
So typical. Yeah, it's cliche so much that you're just like, okay.
So it's nice to feel it kind of like a fresh air. I don't know if that makes sense.
I'll put it this way too: is that like playing certain video games, like you have that same sort of feel to them. Like this feels like you're playing a video game.
Instant satisfaction.
Yeah,
like it feels good. It's a good fit. The movement and the battle system feels good. Like you're moving around, everything flows pretty good. The battle system's good. The buttons are intuitive. Like that's how it feels.
Exactly. And they layer things in there that I'm going to keep saying it. Layer things in there.
Layer.
That like they'll set it up. They'll set up that joke where the dragon is following him, and you know that Scourge is just enjoying himself, and then he warps in
hits
Thor,
the portal,
and the dragon head just like splats on the ground and sprays them all.
The head,
and slides.
It slides towards the two attractive
Such good
females.
Graphics. The
And
visuals.
the eyes roll open and the tongue opens and just green blood flies everywhere. And they both look at each other and scream. And you know Scourge just lost any chance at anything with these women.
But great.
And
It doesn't even matter to be that good. That's what makes it good.
No.
Is that it could have just been like a look away scene where you don't see anything, but they just get splattered like a crappy movie.
Right.
But they
totally showed that head steaming, sliding across the ground. And the tongue rolls out. It goes,
I wonder how much they spent on just the graphics of that one scene.
I don't know. That's
I mean,
interesting.
It's
Do you think
probably
more than you make in a year?
Yeah, I think so. I would pin it at like several $100,000.
No, for that one scene?
I think so.
It's got to be like $100,000. I don't know.
How much did this gross? Thor Ragnarok?
180 million, I mean?
No, it's got to be more than that.
In the first 10 days, I'm sorry. Like it's opening. I didn't see the full number. I don't know what it's up to. I just know it made like 180 in the first 10 days.
Their production budget was 180 million. Gross was 315. Which is, I think, actually, this is like, I would take Infinity War and Endgame, and I would call this the intro to those two movies.
Makes sense, in a way.
So it is,
but
it might have set up Infinity War and Endgame to be that much better because the feeling of this one was perfect.
So would you say those movies are better?
There's since there's so many heroes in that, it's easier to feel like emotional towards something because it pulls on different parts of your personality.
Of course. Well, because it's like combining movies. It's like an old movie. It's a.
The Thor is so likable in this one that you almost feel the same towards him as you do towards like 12 other characters. Like a dozen characters equals almost, actually a little bit more than Thor. Maybe Thor almost equals 12 characters.
When's the last time you saw Thor 2012?
Which one was that one?
He first appears on Earth. They have like a mining equipment, or they're like doing a government setup. Eventually, that big metal thing shows up. He falls in love with what's her name, the girl who wasn't in any of the Marvel movies anymore. She like refused to.
Oh crap! It's funny because
Natalie Portman.
It is Natalie Portman.
It is Natalie Portman. Okay, cool. Anyway, those movies, that movie particularly, Thor 2012, is one of my least favorite.
It's
comic
it's
movies.
Weirdly cliched. So it's almost like a Superman movie. And
yeah, it is Supermanian in that he never. Those movies, the bad version of this, which would be Thor 2012, is he doesn't really use his powers at all. He's trying to be human. He's trying to be accepted. There's not a lot of action. It's like a lot of like these humans. They don't trust me. I'm trying to gain their trust. And then there's like my father's in another world. And then like at the very end, he's like, I'm going to use my powers. And then an ultimate evil shows up to threaten everyone. He's like, I'm going to use my powers. And then he like throws a hammer and hurts a guy. And you're like, yeah. Whereas this movie, in the first 1 minute, he's listening to Immigrant song and swinging his hammer so fast he can fly. Like
the humanizing aspect of it. Like they're trying to do the same thing in both movies, if you realize that.
They are. Yeah.
They're trying to make him human.
I like doing it the reverse way.
Where he's all built up?
Yeah, and then you break him down to human level.
Because what does he lose in the very beginning? Yeah, well, he loses his hammer. He loses his father.
Well, before we get there, because we can kind of do a chronology. You want
to do the he sees
Strange?
Do it.
Doctor Strange? The play.
You're before that. As the play. He shows up and Odin, fake Odin, which is Loki, is watching the play with who's in there? Matt Damon as Loki.
Matt Damon plays Loki. That's genius. His brother Luke Hemsworth is playing Thor.
Yeah. And then Sam Neill as Odin.
Sam Neill.
I love Sam Neill.
Sam Neill, like where did that come from? Like is he friends with someone or something? Yeah, the guy from Jurassic Park. Clever girl. Or not clever girl, the guy who whatever, but
yeah. So good.
So good.
It sets up the interactions and dialogue.
Nowhere.
Yeah.
Like that's cool too, because that cameo doesn't belong anywhere. Like I was like, is that Matt Damon? The first time I saw it, I was like, I think that's Matt Damon. Why is Matt Damon in this movie? Because I'm thinking it's a superhero movie. Is Matt Damon going to be a superhero? No, he's just playing an extra, which is ironic. He's playing a character in a movie, based on a comic book, based on the previous movie or something. I don't even know. What is that play based on? Like, what is the play based on?
It was like Loki being a hero or something. So I think it was like totally fictitious.
So it was right. Loki. Yeah, that's hilarious though. That's layers when you think about it.
Yeah, and the way it unfurls, you don't even have to have any dialogue to it. Like the play itself doesn't really need. I don't even remember anything specific about it, but it makes
not at all.
It's a comedy on itself while it's happening. It's a commentary on Loki as well, and then the relationship between the two brothers. It immediately tells you how it's set up and who they were and how they know each other, and then
right. So what we're talking about is you could watch that and just have a laugh. Haha! I saw Matt Damon, or you could watch it. You could also break it down. Literature, composition. Thank you. Compositionally.
Yes.
Woo! Yeah, that's really good because then you could think of how he sees himself and how he sees his brother and how he thinks his brother should have had seen him.
Yeah.
We get past perfect participles here.
Yes, would have seen. But if that's not in there, I don't think you realize that. Like then Loki, like even if I guess the assumption is that you haven't seen the previous movies, and this helps you understand that what Loki is desiring and how he's already seen. And
he thinks he's undervalued and he wants everyone to love him.
Yes.
Like he kind of is like, he's like, I don't get any of the credit. I'm the true, workhorse of the family here. I'm the one who deserves this, blah, 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 blah. Daddy and brother keep blah, 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 which is ironic because he's going to find out he has a sister that predates him and is way more powerful. But that's weird that this whole family thing we're talking about. I didn't think we'd get into like family quarrels and quabbles, but we are because it can go on so many levels.
Yeah.
We'll get there. So anyway, he's seeing the play, and I think that's funny as hell. No, just the hammer scene.
He's holding him and waiting, and then he has to warp out of the character that he's playing as Odin. To reveal his true self, and everyone's like,
Loki. And then ironically enough, Scourge shows up out of breath because he doesn't have any powers. He has to run. And he's just running. He's like, Thor, Odin's son is back. And he's like, thanks. That's like Three Stooges comedy. It's like timing and physical comedy. It's in this movie.
Yeah, there's a setup here that it takes
and
a while
it comes into the very next thing we're going to talk about. Yeah. So the two brothers have to find their father, and they go to Earth, right? Yep. They go to 188 Bleecker Street, wherever. Doctor Strange, right?
Yep.
So they both appear there.
And Loki's
Doctor
banned.
Strange.
So he's like, whoop.
Loki is banned. So he's like, whoop.
You're gone.
Puts him through a portal. Whatever. I think the next scene is super hilarious, super awesome.
They're both being their own character, and it's working.
They are, and it's so funny because if I was Thor, I'd be getting so mad, but he doesn't even get mad. He like
subtle frustration.
Every 20. Well, it starts with he has an umbrella, which is hilarious instead of a hammer.
Yeah.
Yeah, and whatever. So they're in Doctor Strange's house, and he has all these precious, weird artifacts everywhere. It's like a scientific study filled with library books and tomes and weird pieces. And he's like, well, I didn't know your Earth had magicians. And he's plucking at a piece of, he doesn't know what it is. He's just trying to play kind of tough, kind of smart. And as he puts it back, it falls apart, and he kind of drops it. And I'm, laughing. I'm really laughing at the acting. He's like, ooh. And then he pretends to not care, and more of it falls over, and he leans, and the rest of it falls over, and he's like, so, what do you want? But, he's trying to, be tough guy, but charming. Mm-hmm. And Doctor Strange is just, trying to ignore him and, look through his ponderous tomes. Mm-hmm. And every time he decides to change position or move somewhere, he teleports them both, and it's just so funny because he does it, every 5 seconds. Every time Thor gets set up somewhere, he just teleports, and all of a sudden he's like, and then he's like... So
it's off kilter, but it's also welcoming because he brings him in, sits him down, he gets him tea.
Gives him a beer.
Like, I don't drink tea. And then it's a beer.
Yeah.
And he keeps filling it up. So all the while, even while he's teleporting him and Thor's getting kind of pissed off, he's still splashing beer everywhere. So it's still a reminder that he's still welcome there.
It is. It's a little bit of both.
Yeah.
Right. Well, they're both annoying each other the equal amount, I feel like.
Yes.
Because he's spilling beer on all his stuff. He's knocking over books and things like a large child, but at the same time, Thor is just trying to stand against something, and he keeps getting shifted and moved. and I think that's such hilariously good acting. I read is it Taika? Jesus Christ, I keep getting the director's name wrong. Taika. I'm just gonna call him Taika.
Waititi.
Anyway, Taika said that like 80% of the movie was like based on ad lib or slight variations from the script.
That's like,
so
we'll get there. This is like next scene almost.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool. So anyway, what is funny is at the end, there's so much foreshadowing in this movie too. Like he says, like, I need a strand of your hair, and he's like, my hair is utmost importance. It will never be cut. And like literally half an hour later, it's gonna get cut too.
Oh, that's true.
That? Yeah. Which is funny.
Oh,
it's funny he said that. There was no reason for him to say that, but he did. So anyway, he grabs a strand of hair. Loki appears. I have been falling for over 40 minutes or whatever the hell he says. 30 some minutes.
So he's getting pissed off. He draws his knives, and then Doctor Strange, true to himself, throws him through a portal. I like the setups too. It's not like he just does a power. It's like it's on screen for a good like maybe 5-10 seconds of like the portal spinning, and then like you realize that he can do more than just open portals. He can like throw them around and kind of change reality.
Yeah.
And all the while, like he's waiting for the umbrella to come back because that's his hammer, and you can hear it crashing through the building.
That's a 3 Stooges comedy we just referenced earlier, where he's like, "You're forgetting something. Your umbrella." I think he calls it your umbrella, and he holds his hand out to make the sound, and all of a sudden you hear, and he's just making this embarrassed face because he's like, "Sorry." Sorry.
Did you touch when he does get the umbrella and like catches it? He like brushes it off all the like glass like the.
Does he? I didn't even notice that. That's good acting. He knows it just broke like 40 artifacts.
And glass does come out of it like when he brushes it off. So it's like they had thought about how to use the prop.
That's good. That's good.
So they warp in. Odin's like, "I'm gone. Peace."
Did you know this scene wasn't originally in the movie? It was supposed to just take place in New York. They were supposed to get to him, but it felt like too fake. So they figured we need somewhere. We're already on Earth. It has to be Earth. So they actually thought up Norway, which is like kind of perfect for the Norse mythology, the grass, the whole.
So that goes back to using characters that are actually like mythological. So it's kind of like if you were to recreate this comic, could you? Like, what could you use to relate it back to something that's ancient?
Norway's the closest thing. Well,
not like the location, but like if you're using like the gods of like Nordic gods. Like you could
do something on the Greek gods.
But
that's cheating.
That's like doing the Mayans have their own gods and stuff. Maybe is there a comic on?
You could probably make a comic based on that. Eventually, someone's going to make a dinosaur comic again. Does that count?
What kind of you mean dinosaur comic?
We can make a dinosaur comic where like dinosaurs were against dinosaurs, and they were like the velociraptors. We have come in numbers against the T-Rex, or I don't know. The allosaurs are joining our forces. I don't know. Could they do that?
I guess.
Do you think it'll happen in our lifetime? It might.
I think the CGI would have to be cheap enough so that every character could be CGI and look real and be emotive. If you could make a dinosaur be as emotive as a human being.
We don't know how they emote, but I guess with money and creativity and whatever, new ways to look at the bones, whatever. Well, let's not get into it. Move on.
Next topic. So Hela appears and changes everything by
Cate Blanchett. She's a badass.
She's good in this movie.
You know, this is the first Marvel movie that there's a female bad guy.
Really?
Female villain.
Really?
Yeah.
Bad girl.
Or main villain.
That sounds so dirty. There's a female.
I know, I did.
Female bad girl.
Female bad girl. Ooh, she needs a little spanking. No, the main villain is a female. Sorry, I worded that weird.
There's been like 20 movies. There's no female. I guess if you're
there are female baddies.
Fight. I guess that's interesting too. Is that I don't think Thor ever punches her. I don't know if he does.
No, he uses the hammer, electricity. He no, in fact, you know who does hit her?
Who?
The dude.
The Asian.
Who she kills. Yeah, the guard. And because he puts up the biggest fight of anybody. Yeah. And the dude at the end, Surtur. I always get his name wrong.
Surtur.
Surtur.
Like sulfur.
Surtur.
Surtur.
But anyway, yeah, him at the end. I think he actually hits her a couple times. Or does he hit her with the sword? Yeah, that doesn't count. That's CGI stuff. Yeah. I don't know if anybody does.
Weird.
Did you know she did have to study afro jiu-jitsu from Brazil or something? Which is why she does some of those half spins.
Afro jiu-jitsu?
Afro something. There's a word I'm missing. There is. Check IMDb, dude.
Afro jiu-jitsu.
Something jiu-jitsu. No, Brazil. Afro dash a word Brazilian jiu-jitsu. Afro Coteo. It begins with a C.
Coteo?
Yeah,
Afro.
there it is.
No, I was copying you because I have no idea what the hell you're talking about.
Damn it. It's in the IMDb facts. I read all of them today. Most movies have like 20 of them. This had like 200,000. And half of them were based on comic books. It was like, did you know?
Did you know that there's so much history built up? It's ridiculous.
Is there a find on this function? There probably is. I'm going to find jujitsu and tell you to your face.
You better correct me. Because saying Afro Jiu-Jitsu just sounds racist.
No, it's in a kind. Like, oh, where was it? Oh, found it.
Is it trivia? Is it in trivia?
Yeah, it's in trivia. Use your find feature because mine isn't working. And do Afro.
Have Afro
probably because that's a
martial art. Capoeira. I forget how to say that.
Suck.
Capoeira. Capoeira?
Yeah, I couldn't. Yeah, just listen, I couldn't say half the words. I'm just trying to tell you what I remember I read.
Yeah.
And all I know is it sounds like she had to do a lot of rolls and like core exercise and everything. She plays a real badass. I think she's based her.
She's sexy too in this movie.
She's 43 or 53.
I would say she's in it.
She is sexy. You might have to be with your thing with the skin tight latex or whatever.
I think that's one of my fetishes. So probably why. That could be why. She's born May 14th. Oh, that's close to my birthday. 1969. Hey, and so that makes her
70.
6. Yeah, she's like
69 to 19. 50.
Yeah.
Dang, dog. She's looking good for her age. She only played this because her oldest son was into Marvel and stuff.
Really?
Yeah, the role was originally for Therese Theron, whatever fucking name.
Okay, that would have worked too.
Exactly. I think either one would have been perfect for that kind of role.
Yeah.
But anyway, she did it. Her oldest son liked it. He was a cameo, one of the uncredited. You should see the list of uncredited cameos for this movie.
There's tons. Yeah.
I didn't get it, but I think it's a lot of like relatives and friends and like people. Like her son was one.
Really?
He talked her. Yeah, he talked her into getting the job. He's like, "Mom, do one on Marvel. I love the Marvel movies. It'll boost your career." And she was like, "Okay, son." And she did. Right up for a time. So,
your career, Cate Blanchett, is going down the toilet. You need to do Thor Ragnarok to bring it back.
Well, it also could have just been a kid talking crap to get his mom to play the superhero movie so he could meet superheroes and stuff.
Yeah. No, I'm kidding.
Probably.
So she's awesome. She's all powerful. They have Thor's hammer destroyed by her. So he loses.
So rude.
He essentially loses his freedom,
mostly, almost power.
His power, and then his father.
Well,
trifecta.
Almost his freedom.
Well, he does lose his freedom in the next scene.
He does. Yeah, you were skipping ahead, but yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Loki gets kicked out. Do you know what's funny? When Loki appears in either Thor 1 or Thor the 2nd, I don't remember the tagline for that one. The first words he says when he steps out of somewhere, maybe, is "Neill, therefore you shall live," or something like that. Guess what Cate Blanchett says as soon as she steps out?
Neill
before me. And it's kind of funny because also
throwbacks.
A little bit. There's a lot of throwbacks in all these, like even little quips and quims and talks and sayings and little,
Yeah. Great layers. Lots of layers.
Lots of layers. She
composition. She
pretty much could have kicked their asses right there. And father disappears, so he loses his father, gets banished into the netherworld, and
speed along.
Recapping. Okay. You want to speed it up? He lands on a trash planet, right?
Yep.
He gets captured by a drunk.
Yep.
Is it Tessa Thompson?
Yep, that's her name. Valkyrie.
She looks hot in this.
She's a scavenger.
She's based on the Valkyrie that's a superhero in the Defenders. I never really remember
the backstory of Valkyrie, but I know Valkyrie.
Valkyrie was like a blonde
with Tom Cruise in it, which has no relation.
No, that's not relation. She in the comics, I think she's a blonde, like Viking type woman who has powers. But anyway, the director Taika said that he didn't care whether she was blonde, fair of skin, light of skin, and she's actually fairly ethnic. I didn't realize this. She's like half Mexican, half not Argentinian.
You were correct on the Mexican.
Yeah, I know. I read this today.
Yeah.
And I said not Argentinian, so I know it's not, but it's
and British Isles ancestry.
Oh, British Isles.
Yeah.
Like
Afro-Panamanian.
Panamanian, baby.
She is unique. There's definitely unique beauty in her that is unmistakable.
Mm-hmm.
You look at her and you're like, well, you're interesting.
I said she was right for the role. So she's a drunk soldier who wants to forget the past. Like, that's cool. Yeah. I'm down with that. Actually, ironically, her past was working for Thor and Company.
I think, yeah. Skip over those plot lines. Keep moving it.
I'm not skipping. I'm hinting at them because we can tell there's a connection somewhere.
Yeah, no, definitely. They are both of the same mind, kind of. It's foreshadowing into the next movie. Or have you seen Endgame yet? Can I kind of spoil that one?
No, I didn't see Endgame. You can if you really want to. I mean,
he
I'm
becomes
going
a
to
drunk in Endgame.
Wait, a drunk?
Yeah, Thor.
Fat drunk?
Yeah.
Is that where Fat Thor comes from?
Exactly.
I see Fat Thor memes everywhere. I just have no clue what they mean. It's because he's a drunk. I thought it was like some alternate universe. He really becomes fat.
He's a fat drunken slob.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, foreshadowing.
So wait, that is crazy. So he became her, sort of, for the exact same reason. A little bit. Oh, okay. Weird. Does he become unfat?
No, I don't think he does.
Anything else? Don't spoil it. Oh, damn.
He's fat
oh, my
through
God.
the entire movie.
Oh, Fat Thor. Anyway.
His college days. Yeah.
Did you know, not based on anything, his workout regime, he had to take like over 6,500 calories a day, and like his biggest thing was his biceps because they figured he was going to be sleeveless. This is just
tiny arms. Yep, that's what Hulk told him. Hulk says that to him. Maybe he is sensitive about his tiny arms.
He does. Does he say that?
Yes, he does.
It's funny because his arms were his favorite part to work out. So for his workout regime, they started on his biceps and then work around there. He got to like doing like dead curls of 60 pounds in each arm. And I was thinking that today as I curled a 35-pounder. I'm like, I'm almost at Thor's. I'm just letting you guys know.
So, okay, he gets captured. He's now a peon. And it goes to Sakaar with a beautiful intro with Willy Wonka.
Sakaar. The greatest intro, actually. You're skipping so much. So he got that electric thing in his neck. It's ironic that the God of Thunder is constantly being electrocuted in this movie.
Yes, I know.
Hela, the God of
electricity
Death.
Too?
Yes. Hela, the God of Death. What happens to her? We're not going to spoil it for anyone. And then Loki, the God of like trickery or whatever, is constantly being tricked in this movie. But anyway.
Yeah.
So he's being electrocuted in his neck. He's being captured. They took his father, as you mentioned, his freedom, everything. And Sakaar is the battle land. And that's such a cool scene because he sits in this chair that looks like
he's on a roller coaster.
It's like a 1980s like kid roller coaster a little bit, but like a really futuristic.
I hope they put that in Disney World. Welcome to
so
Sakaar, and then it's like, if you want to view paradise.
And the very first second I saw it, I noticed that.
Yeah,
they're playing Willy Wonka theme.
Yeah,
which is crazy because think
Wonka?
of Gene Wilder, who's eccentric, insane, out of his mind, like borderline. I don't know if he's being serious or joking. Is he dangerous to me or not? Is he? You know,
And who would be the perfect actor to play that character?
And of course, as soon as the Willy Wonka Willy Wonka music ends.
Yep.
I was trying to combine the words to make it quicker. And as soon as all this stuff's flashing before his eyes, everything's moving 100 miles an hour, he starts screaming, ah! It just stops, and there he is.
Oh. It's a he, is it?
Is it?
It is.
Jeff Goldblum. That's the second Jurassic Parker in this movie. When you think about it. Sam Neill.
Oh, yeah. Maybe there's a connection.
Yeah, that's kind of funny. There is.
Throwback.
Anyway, there's Jeff Goldblum, who I never thought I'd seen in a superhero movie, like a Marvel movie.
Yeah.
Like he's doing the apartments.com commercials. I'm like, what? What is going on?
So I thoroughly enjoy Jeff Goldblum because he's always himself, I guess, but in a flavor.
He is a character.
Flavors of himself. And
of
his own character is good enough to watch. Continuously.
Sure. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. This one is blue with a little bit of, I don't know. It's blue with being wealthy. Because some movies he's not wealthy. This one he's very wealthy and kingly. He still is the same exact guy.
I will promote another podcast, Conan Needs a Friend, by Conan O'Brien. The one with Jeff Goldblum in it. They have this weird kind of awkward, anxious sexual tension between them, and they keep kidding that they were into each other. And it's just, there's one moment where they're both going back and forth going, just like for like a minute they're making these like animalistic sexual noises towards each other, and it's, oh my god,
worth the price of admission.
Yeah,
you would recommend it?
I listened to that podcast. It's like number 17 or something.
Okay, we can just type in those keywords probably.
I work on numbers only. Binary, please.
Anyway, the whole interactions with him are hilarious because it's Three Stooges-esque and Jeff Goldblum-esque. Like, he's trying his hardest to burst his super strong arms, which they purposely show in every scene because of what I mentioned, his training and everything. They want to really highlight his strength. He gained like 25 pounds of muscle for this role.
Number 15.
Yeah, good thing you got it wrong. But he's like trying to break out of the chains, saying things like, "I'll kick anyone's ass to get off this planet," and like Jeff Goldblum is purposely like playing it so loose. Yeah, he's like, "Whoa, what was that? Did I just see sparkles?
No sparkles.
Hey, we got the god of sparkles here. Hey, sparkles!" And he's like, "I am not the god of the sparkle." He's so mad, like he's really getting under his skin, and he wants to kick his ass, but he's like, "Haha, all right, baby, let's move on." Did you know that that keyboard line was really played by Jeff Goldblum because he plays keyboard?
Yeah, that little. Yeah.
He has in the IMDb. He has a jazz number with someone else.
That's awesome.
I'm guessing that's an original, dude. That's an original JG. That's awesome.
That is amazing.
But like the interaction is so great, and like he's like, "Just pay her, please. Oh my God, she's gorgeous. You're gorgeous. Thank you." And the other girl's like, "She's a bitch." He's like, "Whoa,
whoa."
The bitch. Like there's like it's such good humor between those three. I already feel like I know there's a history between those three. That's the funny thing about this.
You don't
movie.
have to know the history either.
Never tell me. No, they never do. It's just hinted at in such a way by their interactions. She's like, what do we always say about number 13? What do I always say? She's terrible. No, why would you say that? I didn't say she's terrible. Why would I ever say she's terrible? I'm trying to say she's good. Pay her money. Pay her. Doing that Jeff Goldblum. I love that.
And then when she gets her money, she like tickles him or something, and like he's like completely lost in the moment. Pay for this.
yeah. When he does that thing to him, and he goes, ooh.
He's like, he's lost. Yeah. It's amazing.
Yeah. Oh. It's funny. It's great acting.
And then I get paid for this. You're gonna pay for this? I got paid for this.
You're gonna pay for this? I already got paid for this. I'm from the British Isles, honey.
That's terrible. I'm from the British Isles.
I'm trying.
And then they nuke that guy with the.
Oh, dude, that's the funniest thing in the
liquefaction or something.
Death stick. So the exact wording is, "I absolve you." Yeah, and it's like Thor, this super buff like warrior, and this other like blue dude who's like quivering, going, "Oh my god, oh my god!" And he goes, "Hey, I absolve you." And then he goes, "Of life." And he's turning into a puddle of ooze.
Even Jeff Goldblum's just like, oh. Oh, the god,
the girl who's very tough. She goes, smells like toast. I'm like,
Burnt
I love how she goes, burnt toast.
Oh.
It's so good. All these little interactions we're hinting at are worth the movie alone.
Yeah. And then Surtur comes back to life, and
Oh my god! I was like, you skipped so far ahead. Although, how long have we been doing the podcast? We can't talk about the whole movie for 5 hours.
I know, that's why I'm trying to speed it along.
All right. Well, so Cate Blanchett, aka Hela, appears and tries to reclaim her throne. Do you know what's ironic? She
destroys what?
That mural or whatever on the ceiling that showed the history of like.
Did she wipe it away or something, and something else is under it? It's her or something?
Yeah, something's underneath it, meaning that it's older than the new stuff. So they put new stuff up to cover the old stuff, which is interesting because why wouldn't you A, just get rid of the old stuff, and B, you entirely covered the old stuff to try and hide from the truth a little bit? Like, that's kind of shady. It also explains her character perfectly. Like,
true.
She's older than them. Yeah. She's been around forever. Well, and she's more important. Like, she's the true truth. She's not lying. She's not pretending to be something. She comes in, wakes up, and sees that these two little shits have been here. They've only been here for like 10 weeks. They don't even know what happened beforehand. They don't know my power, my father's power, what happened between me and my father. And that's how she acts. I think it's a very good acting job. As far as her character. I think she said she based it on the girl from Terminator 2. What's her name? Sarah Connor Chronicles type deal. Oh no, I think
reference. What was the last reference?
No, I messed up. That's Valkyrie.
Yeah, I'm confused where you went.
Where
were you trying to go?
Valkyrie based her character on the Sarah Connor
Chronicles.
Connor Chronicles, yes.
Sarah Connor Chronicles. That's a good one. Sarah
Connor Chronicles. Sarah Connor Chronicles. Sarah Connor Chronicles. That's not bad. I did that one.
Yeah.
I couldn't do it again if I tried. But anyway, Cate Blanchett, Hela takes over, kills like everyone.
Yeah.
And Scourge is a right-hand man.
Also badass. Those spikes that just keep flying out. And then she's got like the horns like an elk or deer or something.
She shoots at like helicopters and crap that are flying. They're not helicopters, they're flying ships, whatever they would be. Valkyries, probably, technically.
Yeah, who knows? And then she's got a strong stakehold. And then Thor is in this Grandmaster Gladiator Champions Ball.
It's based on like 4 different comic books mashed together. So there's one where Thor has to team up with Loki, his hated brother, to take on Death and someone else.
Okay.
There's one where Hulk is on an alien planet stuck in a tournament where he has to battle every week.
Yeah.
And then there's a third one where Thor has to battle Hulk. It's not in the same series as where he does the arena battles, but he does have to fight Hulk at some point. And then there's a fourth one. Nerds are going to be dialing in.
Yeah, I know, 100%.
Get it wrong. It's this.
How
but
did you
either
not
way,
know this? Doesn't your life revolve around comic books and only comic books?
Anyway, ironically enough, they do a good job of combining a whole bunch of things to make like one story. So this is a techno, and I think it's really well done.
I did like the battle. Obviously, there's like a realization of friendship there and like throwback, and then
that's cool too because he like takes off his helmet. He's like, "Hey, I know him.
Yeah,
I worked with him. Yeah, I worked with him." I love that. It's like, what? That's good.
Yeah. And then they battle. And then he loses because of the Grandmaster. He manipulates the fight. And, Hulk is still the Hulk, and he's childlike. And the whole time he's trying to figure out how to
who he is or what he is.
Yeah,
he's trying to wake him up.
Mm-hmm.
Real quick, before that, there was something real funny I didn't catch, but I always thought was interesting. I love when there's layered inferences to the past or other episodes or other things. So do you remember when he finds Loki? The Grandmaster has him in chains and everything. He's being introduced, and Loki shows up. He's like, "That's my brother."
Getting fed fruits and stuff.
No. When he first gets in there, he's in chains. He's telling him, "Let me out. I'll fight whoever you want."
Uh-huh.
To Jeff Goldblum, and he sees Loki. He's like, "Oh, Loki, come over here." It's like the first time he's seen him.
Loki's like enjoying himself. He's like having a party.
Of course. Oh, he's being fed fruits. Yes. I'm sorry. Yeah, I thought you meant
Loki's being fed.
Yes.
Like grapes. Classic.
So apparently, in either the 2012 movie or the other, or an Agents of Shield's episode or something in the past 4 years, Loki and Thor are brothers, and someone says, "Can you vouch for this guy?" Blah blah blah, and he's like, "That's my brother," and then he goes, "He killed 80 people, and we have to hold him to justice." He says, "Well, he's adopted anyway."
Yeah.
And anyway, do you know what he says in this movie? He says, "That's my brother. That's my brother." Yeah. Oh, is it? Was it?
Yeah.
Well, in this movie, if you notice right away, he says, "Oh, that's my brother. That's my brother," and he immediately goes, "Oh, must be my adopted brother. I've never met the man in my life." Throwback.
Yeah.
A little bit of a
Nice.
I just turned the tables. So you called me the adopted brother? Huh, you're the adopted brother.
Nice.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
The other funny thing is, before we skip, is when he calls it Asgard. I think that's so funny.
Didn't catch that.
It's
Is that Goldblum saying it?
yeah.
Asgard.
He says, "Yeah, you're the god of sparkles from, where are you from?" He says, "Asgard." And he says, "Asgard?" And then he says, like, a few minutes later, he's like, whoa, you'll have your chance to redeem your right to go to, what is it, Assblow? And he says, like, 4 names, Asperger? And he says, Asgard. And he's like, Asgard. Yeah. You can go to Asgard. But, like, really funny that he's, like, demeaning him, sort of, but not really. So skipping ahead to
what's
the battle.
What's the next scene? They battle as gladiators.
They do, and did you catch this one? There's so many friggin' tiny references that this movie's made of that surprised me. So, Jeff Goldblum was offered the role of Hulk and Bruce Banner.
What?
Not for this series. It was for, like, one of the reboots in 2007, 09, somewhere in there.
Okay.
He didn't take it.
Wouldn't have fit. But
so immediately, well, I don't know. Who was the old one? Lou Ferrigno? Well, before Lou Ferrigno? Who was it? Ed Norton. Probably the Ed Norton one.
Yeah.
He was probably offered that one because a skinny little weird dude.
Yeah. You know what?
Well, anyway.
That series kind of has like a fly feel to it. Like experimental.
Exactly.
Maybe that's why they thought.
So anyway, it didn't work. But immediately, the very first scene where Hulk... Oh, God.
Just make sure, because no one...
People
might not know The Fly was a Goldblum
Jeff Goldblum.
movie.
His
which
first,
is pretty
right?
good, actually.
First big one.
Yeah. So you're saying
Hmm.
throwback to Edward Norton taking his role as Hulk.
Do you know what he says? The very first scene where Hulk is actually introduced as Hulk? Oh, I knew I like this guy. I have a certain connection with this role, or something like that.
Huh.
It's like, he's referencing that he has a connection with this role.
In real life.
He would have really been Hulk.
Interesting.
Isn't that funny? But the Marvel Cinematic Universe, MCU?
Yep.
Thank you.
MCU
is so big and so deep that you can make a reference almost anywhere and tie it in, and most people would gloss right over it.
Yes.
Like I did multiple times on that.
Most scenes.
But that's probably purposely there for that exact reason.
So how far do you want to skip after the battle? They're recouping. He realizes that he has to go back to save Asgard. And they're in the ship. This is composition.
How about this? We missed my 2 favorite characters.
Which characters are you?
Korg.
Oh, Korg? Because he's in the...
So anyway, well, because he becomes an important character, which is funny because he's a throwaway. So Korg is this giant rock thing. He's like kind of like Thing.
Oh, okay. He's friendly and nice.
He's super friendly. He's super British. He's actually based on a Polynesian bodyguard.
Really?
Yeah. Taika saw him. So anyway, this is super ironic. It's all coming together. So Thor has to wait before he battles. He's going around the circle. He meets Korg, who's like made of rocks. And he says something that makes him sound like Thing, because he looks like Thing from Fantastic Four.
Okay.
He's like, well, I am a thing, but, well, I'm not the thing, or something like that, to that effect. And it's really funny, because he looks like Thing.
Yeah.
Well, super ironic, that's actually the director, Taika. It's voicing him. And it's the funniest character, I think, in, like, the movie. He says, well, I don't know what you're gonna do, but you can battle the guy or die, or you can do whatever you want. And he's like made of rocks. And he's like kind of like he's like he doesn't care. He's like, well, you could do it, well, you could don't do it. And then he says, "Oh, and don't mind him, Mrs. Meek."
Meek.
Oh, yeah. And Meek is just like a beetle. A beetle grown to full size with blades for arms. It's like Pickle Rick a little bit, I guess. A little bit.
Like
it's just really fun.
Meatwad or whatever. Kind of like
Super Meatwad meets Pickle Rick. But those two characters are great because like they're kind of like friendly to Thor for no reason, but they're not like
they're not downbeat. They're not downtrodden. They're not negative.
No, they're very upbeat. They're very they're in the worst aspect of life, but they're pretty upbeat. They're like, hey, maybe you can grab this torch here. Maybe you'll live. You'll probably die, but maybe you live.
Maybe
you know, like you know what I mean? It's like a British accent.
You could.
I like that. You could live. I don't know. Oh, you go around in circles. It's no big deal. Like it's just I enjoy that character. And it's funny that it's the director who is probably behind all this funniness, right? Could be.
So fast forward when he's trying to escape, unless you want to talk about something else.
No, go ahead.
Okay, so they're trying to escape. They go to the ship because they can see the ship from their giant tower, Hulk's giant tower. And he's on the ship. He's trying to fly it out of there. He gets the access to it. The strongest Avenger doesn't work for him. And then Hulk comes in and breaks the ship as he's like moving towards him in the cockpit. And they have Scarlett Johansson pop up. And she calms him down, turns him into Mark Ruffalo, and he tries to realize what's happened for 2 years. And they have a scene where he looks at the screen where Hulk is, I think, like moving around talking, and they overlay Mark Ruffalo's face in exact motion on what he's watching the Hulk be on screen. You've noticed that?
No, I didn't. That is interesting.
So it's like, yeah.
Might have calmed him down.
Well, the Scarlett Johansson calmed him down, but I guess it's like just mirroring himself. It's just a subtle little thing where he's mirroring himself from a video that he's watching of his alter ego. So
well, plus he has a whole dynamic unto itself, which isn't even
it's not even touched on. Yeah.
Yeah. It's what's touched on, but not like really. They don't dive into it.
Yeah.
Frick, man.
And I think that skips ahead to them escaping on the Grand Master's love ship after they trick Loki, which is a good one.
They trick Loki, man.
So Loki's turn the tides against them, and he has the little thing on his neck already, and he goes down. And then did they bring him with them?
He gets on someone's ship because he shows up, but I don't remember how he gets there.
He must have slave ship.
Grandmaster? No, he gets his own.
Well, Korg shows up too, so I guess Korg has a revolution, and then that's how he gets out.
I guess Korg and Meek.
Yeah, masterminds.
We're starting a revolution, mate.
So one of my favorite lines in this is when they're flying and they're like, "What's the ship?" It's like it's his birthday ship. It's where he has all his orgies and stuff on it. And they all look around, and I can't believe they say that in a movie that's geared towards children as well. Yeah. And then it's like he pushes a button, and it's like, "It's your birthday."
Oh, yeah. I forgot that. I was like, "Where's he going?" Yeah.
Oh. Whenever I think of something like something happens during the day, I just silently say that to myself. Like something good happened, I'm like, "It's your birthday," and then I have the little music, little techno thing going on.
But that's like a director touch. It's like that's not needed in a superhero movie.
Oh no, definitely
it didn't even need to move the plot forward. It's literally extemporaneous. If I were to say.
It's completely unnecessary and surprising because it's like kind of like lewd.
Yeah, risque. Yeah, a little bit over the top, and you're like, "Damn, this is funny." But that's, I guess, how they portray that character. That's who he is. He's extemporaneous. He's a little bit lewd. He's interesting. It's comedy. It's
a sexual essence that is flowing from his being like waves, radioactive waves, just vibrating inside your penis.
Oh.
That's the motion that you did.
Gotta fit in there.
Yeah.
Yep. So weird amount of gas.
Yeah. Where does that leave us now? We go through the devil's
Halfway through the movie. Halfway through the movie, and we got
devil's anus. So this is another thing I noticed is that this is well structured so that it shows you who are the main players and it introduces new characters, and then it doesn't try to do anything that's brand new. Like it doesn't bring in like another new character after this point. Like actually, I don't think it brings in a new character after like the quarter mark or maybe the third mark.
Well, the one we were just talking about. It's Hulk, Meek, and Cork.
Yeah. And
those are the only new characters. Once
Valkyrie.
there, Valkyrie.
Yeah.
The other thing to consider is
Ragnorok.
they don't try to they
don't overdo it.
Kind of like a Lafayette curve.
Oh yeah. How does that work? I've heard those are fantastic. It's well respected
in economic circles. It's great. Absolutely great. It's like you introduce everything early on. You get it moving. You get motion. And then at this point, you stop and you start resoluting everything. You don't have to introduce new characters. You have to close holes. You
can't bring it back, is what you're saying. It's like if you're going to close the circle, you can't make it great again.
No, that's not what I'm saying. Here, do you know what's really funny? Remember when Hela goes underneath and sees all the things of Odin? All his like
treasures,
conquests,
secret treasures.
Yes, the treasures,
undead dogs.
So before this movie, there was a scene where Thor, I don't know if it was in Dark World or the original, where they go into a vault he has, and they see Thanos' glove with all the stones on it.
What? Really?
Yeah, it's in one of the other movies. It's just in a vault. They didn't know they were doing this whole movie thing, right?
Huh.
So everyone online was like, "Is that the real one? Is this a fake? Maybe it's just a mimic. Maybe the glove was in here and they scattered the stones, whatever." So what's real funny is if you pay attention when she talks about each item that she touches, she goes, "I thought it would be bigger." About Surtur's brow.
Yeah, his brow.
Ironically, that one gets much bigger. It's literally the size of the city, so that's funny. When she sees the Thanos glove, she says, "Fake," and knocks it over.
Huh.
So they're saying it was a fake. They're playing to the other movies a little bit.
Yeah.
Which is kind of cool.
Layers.
She makes a couple jokes about the other ones, but I can't remember the importance.
I don't remember.
Fireworks going off near me.
Huh. Well,
maybe I'll be dead soon.
Could be the new year.
It could be by the time this releases.
Yeah.
2022! Welcome, everybody!
So she goes down there, she's acting like a badass.
Oh, she gets a flame, she wakes up her wolf. That's kind of cool.
Fenris.
That's cool. Femis or Fenris?
Fenris. Yeah. Fenris.
Sure.
I don't know why Fenris, but... Oh, the Norse wolf god is named Fenrir. Fenris is
ironic.
The female
You want to
version.
hear something crazy?
Fenrir.
Fenris and Hela are both children of Loki in the comics or mythology, not in the movie sense.
Huh? They're children.
Yeah, isn't it? Yeah, both. I read that and I was like, "Excuse me."
Weird.
I don't know what he had sex with to have the
incestuous.
Incestuous. So that's just in either mythology or whatever. But anyway,
they go.
Not this movie.
They battle. Hulk does his thing where he jumps out of the ship like, "I'm going to show you who I am," and then splat.
Yeah, he does. He just lands. It's like he's dead.
I like how his head just kind of like whips with that nice sound effect. Fenris kind of like looks at him.
Everything's good.
Yeah.
I think it's hilarious where he the Fenris, the wolf, turns away and eventually something's grabbing its tail and you're like, "Oh, I know what it is. It's Hulk." Like, isn't that cool that you know the answer?
Yeah.
It's like childish,
yeah.
but it's a little bit like, I know. The other thing is, so Thor loses his eye. How does he lose his eye?
She pluck it out? She like kind of, I don't know if she plucks it out, but she definitely does it.
She does it.
She stab him with one of her spikes.
Ironically, when she destroys the mural above, there's a crack that goes right down the eye.
Oh,
same eye.
Nice.
That's good.
Nice little touches.
Touches like that. I didn't notice, but people at
Those
IMDb did.
Those visuals, man.
Absolutely.
Building characters, it's nicely knitted together.
A light bridge, everything.
Oh, yeah.
And then, of course, what do we end with? When everything looks its darkest and we're going to lose, our guy Thor he's down and out. He can't even wake up. He doesn't even have his hammer, I believe.
Yeah.
Helen looks the best.
Are you the guy
Scourge
with hammers?
His father?
His father says,
which is hilarious. Yeah. He's the god of hammers? It's like, no, he's god of thunder. Oh. So that is weird. That's underplayed, that line.
They bring back Surtur. So
they purposely bring back Surtur, which they literally
Ragnorok.
Killed him to stop this.
Yeah.
They bring him back to start Ragnarok. It's very cyclical in that sense.
Yeah. The original character that they brought in is the one that ends it.
It is. And they made him super huge, and he starts destroying
the hometown.
That was it called?
Asgard.
Thank you. Asperger.
Yeah. And it's a very quick end. They don't draw at the ending like some sort of like cheesy fight. She's just like,
no, it's pretty good. It even has Scourge doing skate. Scourge Redemption's good. Yeah, I like that.
Well, even like she's like moving up on these spikes, like attacking Surtur, and then like she realizes, oh crap, and it like only takes like a minute before, like less than literal minute, a figurative minute. She just like.
But right before that, I think it's cool where he realizes he's not the god of hammers.
Yeah.
He's the god of thunder.
And
he turns all electric and crap, like he turns. And what music starts playing, baby?
Is it the same one at the beginning?
Zeppelin. Yeah, Led Zeppelin, the immigrant song starts playing again. Cyclical.
Can you say the strikes are in time with that song?
Some of them are, yes.
Some of them are.
I can tell someone worked choreography, editing wise, but it's not all of them. But still, it's pretty badass.
Unlocking his true powers.
Yeah, and they're totally like kicking the ass of like a 60-foot wolf, and like Hulk is doing this and throwing something into the water. There's like people who were innocent and afraid are fighting back, and Thor, who was outmatched the entire movie against Hela, is now like finally walking into his role. He's taking his father's place a little bit.
Yep,
it's kind of cool. I don't know, I like it.
Yeah, and they end up sacrificing their hometown so that they can take out Hela, because both Surtur and Hela are gaining strength from Asgard.
So if they destroy it,
yeah, they can eliminate her. They jump on a ship, and that's kind of a weird ending.
To sacrifice his life, and you know what he calls his two guns?
Troy.
Des and Troy. Which is kind of cool. It's also weird that IMDb even made mention of it. Dez is a wide receiver for Cowboys. Troy is a quarterback
for Cowboys.
And Troy. Wait, is he a Cowboys fan?
That's what you're talking about?
Of course, yeah. If I say a first name, if I say a word and you know who they are, then yes. Dez and Troy. Is he a Cowboys fan?
Carl Urban?
Yeah, he could be.
I don't know. I always thought that it was actually just Destroy.
Destroy? It could be. I don't know why it showed up in IMDb, though. That's weird.
He's from Wellington, New Zealand. Carl Urban.
Oh, yeah, he's a Cowboys fan. Anyone who's not from the area is always like, I love the Cowboys. It's like, no, you don't. You're not scum.
So the ending of this movie is actually kind of sad, but it doesn't feel sad. Isn't it weird? That, like, if it wasn't as happy all the way through, you would probably feel pretty upset at the end.
I think if they drew it out and acted weird about it, it would be sad, but they don't. They move it along pretty quick.
They're just like, okay, all right, goodbye. All right, where are we going? It's like...
yeah, that's exactly how they do it. They're like, they move on to the next thing. Like, we're ready for the next thing. What happens after the credits?
Oh, that revolution. You got to be thankful of Jeff Goldblum.
Oh, we skipped one really funny thing.
What?
Korg, where he shows up to help them and fight them. The Stone Man. And he says, "Hey, it's me, Korg. I'll help you guys out. Might as well." And then he's like, "Oh, it's a shame. My friend Meek, he's dead."
He didn't.
What did he say?
He didn't make
it. Yeah, he didn't make it. And then, like, by the end of the movie, he's alive again.
Oh, wait. Oh, hey.
oh, hey, he's not dead. Meek's not dead yet. And it's like that kind of humor permeates the whole movie, but, like, it's very funny. You don't know a guy's dead. You do know a guy's dead. You don't know. He's alive. What's up? Meanwhile, someone's struggling with their identity politics and who their father is. And he's like, "Don't worry. The beetle that has blades for hands and is 6 foot tall, he's fine. He's fine.
He's all right." I don't know what he said.
He's all right. Yeah, he doesn't even say he's fine. He's all right. He's good. He's good. For now. Then you're like, the contrast is so good.
Oh, yeah.
So after the credits, I forgot.
Jeff Goldblum, he's in his own revolution.
What does he say?
Because he's the ruler that's being overthrown. He crashes on the planet. He's coming out of the spaceship. And he goes, oh, hey. I just like he says something like, "I'd like to thank all you because we couldn't have done it without you." The revolution. Like, you couldn't have done it without me. He's like, "Congratulations. It's a tie."
Congratulations. It's a tie.
And that's it. That is Thor Ragnarok.
It's so comedic, theatric. It's a little bit epic. It's a little bit action, a little bit sci-fi, a little bit comic.
Futuristic. We didn't even say anything about it's colorful. The scenes are very different and varied. So there's a set pace in the way you're seeing the color and the structure of it. It's divided up into different areas. And it's very, even though it's energetic, it's very peaceful and comedic at times. So there's a lot going on that is all getting you kind of like in a weird, energetic, and calm state at the same time.
I would bet you, and I haven't done the research, that 85% of the scenes, like if you take a scene where it's like a character in a certain setting, different camera shots, etc. In 85 to 90% of the scenes, there is at least one comedy reference and at least one comic book reference.
So I would probably agree with you.
I don't even know them all. I just know they're there, which is cool because when I watch something like this, I might not even laugh at the scene because I don't get the reference. But something in me recognizes that it's there.
True. There's also,
do you know what I mean?
There's also a polarity to it. Like if a movie's all sad, then you don't get to feel the sadness in it because it's just kind of drab. You're kind of neutral at the end because you don't know what to feel. And if a movie's all happiness, then you don't know like what to gauge it from. Like this movie kind of like gives you something sad and then hits you with a happy pill right afterwards. And it reminds you that like there's a weird balance there that's needed to show different aspects of characters and the ups and downs.
I don't disagree. Nice.
Yeah. Thank you.
I'll give you a 9 out of 10 in AP English.
Good.
9 out of 10 out, but whatever.
I'll just I'll be back here in a couple weeks and you can praise me some more. I appreciate so that was contrast. We had good pacing, good color. Separation, loss of power, regaining your own power, power within. Got some empathy there. Humanizing the characters.
Keyword incest.
Incestuous.
Incest. No incest. No, stop covering me up. Like.
What was the word?
Poison ivy. Incest.
Oh,
got it in there.
You fucker.
I knew the poison ivy.
Character insight an interaction, history. You build a history and 2 lines of
History
dialogue.
was friggin' 9 pages. Because I talked about 1960 whatever. There's history between now and then, and there's references abound, folks. If you really want some references, go look them up. I ain't reading them all. You can suck your own references off. But you did really good. Honestly, folks, you should check out Thor Ragnarok if you haven't watched any of them. If you've watched Thor Ragnarok, watch it again and watch it from a sense that this scene is funny. This scene is funny. This scene is funny. If you actually look for the funny, you'll find it. And it actually makes a movie more enjoyable. I'm like, oh shit, what are they going to do here? And I'm like, the new guy doesn't know what to say to the girls. And he's like, well, ladies, this is called a shake weight. And I was like, that's pretty funny. It's good.
It's good.
I'm like, there's no need for this, but it's pretty funny.
And if you haven't watched Endgame, you should probably watch Endgame.
I'm getting there.
You're waiting for it.
Short. I'm between movie and our screen.
Yeah, stream.
No, stream. Okay. What is it called? Movie, stream, on demand,
inbox.
Okay, I'll get there, folks. We like you a friggin' lot. We can't believe you tune in every week. I'm going to give each of you $1. You get $1. You get $1. You get $1. Smash the fuck out that like button. Ooh, language.
Sub. If we get 10,000 likes, Nick is gonna show the backside of his leg. He's got more than that. He's gonna show you his scars. You're gonna marvel at his. I'm gonna cut it off right here. I don't know if you're allowed to. They're gonna confuse those for female titties. Oh, look at that stupid tattoo. You didn't hear that. What were you showing off? I'm confused. Those tiny arms of yours, you gotta work on. They're gonna confuse it for.
No. I'm showing
those
off
down. Put those down. They're gonna think they're female boobs. It's like a negative A cup, and they'll be like banned.
I trimmed this area right here.
You should do the bat symbol. You are going to the beach next time, right? Next week.
I know. Yeah.
Oh, I can't believe you're going to the beach in midwinter.
No, it'll be midsummer. Yeah. It could be June or July or whatever. What would I get? Like a hawk or something?
A bat.
Whoa,
those away.
Saucy.
Put those away.
We're gonna get banned, folks. We like you. We like you a lot.
Look like tired eyes. Put that away, please.
We think you guys are great for tuning in. We love everything you guys give us. Everything you tune in. Anytime you guys want to give us some feedback, tell us we're wrong about something, we'll accept it. Anytime you want to ask us to talk about something, we'll accept it. We like the frig out of you guys. You guys are what makes my night.
God damn it. It's so cheesy when you say it. Just smash buttons randomly, and if it happens to be like and subscribe, it was fated to be. So we'll take that aleatoric nature and a little serendipity so that you can follow us forever. Until Facebook rules the earth.
It's like an hour away. See you guys. Love you.
Good night.